What's going on? What's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, tbkc, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. We are going to have a good time. Look, check this out. This is what I want to say with all that energy that I just had. Something that you need to know. And this is something that I usually put in my program, which the program has some very good videos this week. And I'm sorry for those who didn't get their videos. But the program has a collection of videos, actually some videos that I made while I was driving that I'll be put out. Your notes, right? And I have beautiful notes, by the way. I actually transferred my notes. It took me a couple of days. But I went from the old like paper, and I kept the old ones for nostalgia reasons. But I went to some things that have the leather binders and things of that nature, get fancy. But as you breed, right? As you learn, take notes on everything. So this is the instance, and some things I can take off the top of my mind. Hallie loved her paws, loved her toenails. I have a thing about black toenails, by the way. I love black toenails. Weird, I know. Of course, loved her bite. The dog was pretty much perfect, but I didn't like her head. I didn't like any of the heads that came along with Thug. The reason is that sometimes the Thug blood, for whatever reason, the head would get a little bit, I wouldn't even call it bulldoggy. I believed it was houndish. Now, Hallie didn't have that type of head. She had more of the gray line round head. But I still didn't like the round head because she didn't have, as she got older, it was weird. She developed the cheeks. But I wanted more cheeks, and this was the reason why I went with Paco, because as I studied Paco, and I used to keep notes even way back then, Paco had a very, very dominant head gene to where he would produce that look and those cheeks and that pretty face and those type of things. So I was like, you know what? I need this in my life. And so that's why I did that breeding. I can tell you with Mandela produces very tight skin. To this day, Mandela had never really produced a dog that had the looser skin like him, which was amazing. But I kept the notes on Mandela that some of his dogs could be prone to allergies. Let's just put it that way. Mandela himself, allergic to fish. Didn't like fish. I'm talking about, and one of my favorite things to put over my dog's food is mackerel. And Denzel loved mackerel. Mandela hates it. Well, for good reason. I used to wonder why he would sniff it and he would walk away sniffing. I'm like, why does this dog hate fish so much? And then I switched to the what was that? The salmon and whatever food that Merrick has, and he broke out like hell. So you put those things in your notes because a lot of his kids are allergic to fish and and are allergic to certain like flowers and different things like that. I noticed that didn't do well around, it wasn't lavender, it was what's the other one I was using? Peppermint. He, for whatever reason, peppermint just wasn't his thing, and I was using a peppermint spray. But those are the smallest things like that you can have. But you start to notice notes, and even if you hear gossip and rumors like this dog has heart murmurs, okay, we write that in our notes. If this is a dog that you may use, or even if it's a dog that you don't, write your notes and write down, this dog has heart murmurs. I've heard about these dogs having, bad feet. I've heard about these dogs having elongated palates. I heard about these dogs having these things. This is why these notes are important, because you're going to put together a breeding and you want to be able to go through that pedigree. And that's the key to studying a pedigree. The more information that you find out, and I don't care what dog it's on, if you have the notes on it, you can start to line up different issues. If you see, 2 times Medea, and I'm just making up a name, of course, but if you see 2 times Medea in this pedigree, but you know that Medea's father had, a breathing issue, Medea's, grandfather had a breathing issue, then, on the bottom of your pedigree, you've got, Frank. Frank has breathing issues, although Frank didn't have the breathing issue. He's got breathing issues in his pedigree. Now you know that you're doubling down on breathing issues, and it makes it a lot higher of a chance that this will become a genetic that you will have to worry about in your pedigrees. And that's just an example, but a lot of breeders nowadays, they just go by the phenotype. They go by the look. And even in going by the look, sometimes they don't even ask about the current dog, not alone what's behind them and what issues are there. And this can help you in your phenotype, because if you see an incredible headpiece, like I mentioned with the Paco blood, if you see an incredible headpiece that you really like, you know, write that down, and you can see it in the pedigrees, and you can know if you're doubling down on it, and it gives you what you want. It's that simple. You have to learn how to maneuver through these things to make these things happen appropriately in your pedigrees, and the highest chances you have is by compounding them either way. The highest chances that you have for failure is if you compound bad genetics. The highest chances that you have for success is that if you compound the good genetics and relieve yourself of the bad genetics. These are all things that you need to do for success, and far too many breeders don't keep notes, not only on dogs that they hear around the community, but that also the dogs that you have. I keep notes on every litters. I know some blood combinations that I've done that have produced more terrier dogs. I know some blood combinations, like doubling down on Denzel with 2 of his kids, that make the dog somewhat too bully, you know, a little bit too much wrinkles. Although you get excessive bone and excessive size, you know, you probably will have to come back with something. My choice, my weapon of choice is to get some gaff blood and run that, you know, after I double down on there to help the skin snap back, but still keep some of the mass. And gaff blood is sort of excellent at keeping mass for some reason, while also tightening down and helping you with the structure. But these are all the notes and the things that I've done over the years. I literally have about 14 different books of notes that I've taken throughout the years, where it's just, you know, on any dog that I can have that allows me to be able to breed the way that I breed. I can look at a pedigree, and even if I'm not sure up front, I can go back and I can do some little research, and I'm like, that works, this works, that works. Okay, that's a good breeding, you know. And you'd be surprised the results you get and how high the success rate is when you do some proper studying. You know, many of you younger breeders don't do the studying. You go by what people are telling you is popular. And this is why you're having a lot of issues. Be your own man or your own woman and put together something that's going to work for you through proper studying and taking care of business. But until next time, God bless y'all. Much love. Peace.